As Orlando Pirates prepares to defend their MTN8 crown, let's take a look back at that training camp in Spain, where in 4 games we came away with 2 draws, 1 loss, and 1 win. But it was never about the results. We were there for the players to gain some match fitness, match sharpness, for the new signings to get integrated into the squad, and to see how Coach Wadu and company plan to get this new look Pirate side challenging for top honors. So what can we take away from the little that we saw in Spain? Well, here's a list of 5 things that stood out to me and I feel might well be crucial to our success or failure in this 2025-26 PSL campaign.
But before we kick off, please don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe to be notified, and share Namapaganea so we can grow the community. Don't go in advance. Yep, let's get right into it. Well, the number one, I feel like Abdeslam Wadu has definitely hit the ground running as the head coach of Orlando Pirates. Why do I say that? I say that because he's already implemented his philosophy. We can see that he clearly wants a 4-3-3 formation with a high press and having a very high energy team. And the players seem to be responding well to the tactics. One thing that a new foreign coach might come with is the lack of communication, or taking a while for the players to actually understand what the coach is wanting and what the coach expects from them. And it seems like it has taken absolutely no time for the players to understand their assignments. And I think that is a very big positive. I also like his talent ID. He can tell a good player from an average player, and the fact that he's already established his philosophy and it's clear to see is a good thing for the fact that a player knows whether he's good enough or not. And also the other positive is that it's about instead of changing formations and changing philosophies from game to game, he's rather sticking with his style and actually just trying different players in different roles. And I think for him being a new coach and for so many new players getting into the squad, everybody getting a first chance, it's a very good thing that his formation and tactics are already clear to see, and he's already got his identity on lock. Sure. Number 2, Cameron Dancing Shoes Dansen. Cameron Dansen is a baller. What a find. What a player. The DDC does it again. Another Coco Melon to add to the list. He did have a couple of chances last season, but this will be his breakout season. He's an absolute baller. He was tried at CDM. He passed the test. He was tried more in the middle as a box-to-box player. He passed the test. He's got vision. He's got the feet. He's got some explosiveness. And even with that high pressing that Abdeslam was implementing, I feel like he was a player that actually, did well in that role, and also did well with those tactics. Also, part of number 2, I feel like we've got good depth, and the likes of Mo Dansen coming into the squad has definitely caused others to pull up their socks, because we still haven't even tried everybody yet, but he's definitely already put his hand up. I'm already imagining him in my best 11s so far. So to find a talent like that, or to discover the fact that, and like with this new coach, he works, that is a big positive and something that we can definitely take into the season. Number 3, we finally have a captain, and his name is Meazillian Bugazi. TLP, last season, if you had noticed, we started the season with Olisanda as captain, and then he got injured, and then we had to pick between Ogi and Sbisi, and it wasn't a sure case who's going to actually put the armband on. But Abdeslam Wadu has made his choice. TLP has played, I believe, the most minutes out of anybody in that preseason tour, and it is now clear that armband, if it isn't his going forward already, then it will not take more than a couple of games for him to have it on his arm for the rest of the season. And I think that's a good thing, because he's already shown that he will be consistent, especially when it comes to appearances. And I think he works in most of our defenses, most of our starting 11s, one of our best players already. And I think it's a good thing that Abdeslam has made it clear that this is our captain. TLP going into the new season. Definitely a point to consider and a point to talk about and point out going into the season. Number 4, Bafetu, set pieces are still an issue. We're not going to fix everything and we're not going to get everything right during the preseason, but one glaring thing that was a glaring issue last season is still an issue right now, and that is our set pieces. We've conceded 2 goals in these 4 games. 2 out of the 3 goals that we did concede, Vela in the preseason, were set piece goals, and I have no idea what we're going to do about that. If you look at the centre backs, he tried Ndlozi at centre back. I haven't seen his aerial ability per se yet. The other person that we've also tried was Siema, but because Abdeslam is clearly a ball on the ground kind of manager, it seems like the set piece issue will remain an issue, and obviously the goalkeepers Buthelezi and Chain still struggle with the aerial ball, coming out for the ball and commanding the box. I'll have to see how Lala does in that regard, but definitely one thing that is still an issue. And the 5th thing that we have learned from this preseason is we definitely cannot lose Relebohile Mofokeng in the team. Wow. We were shocked by the departure of Mahangota, and last season our goals were either coming from Mufuking or Nkota. So to lose him is to lose goals, and I think this point number 5 also highlights the fact that even though we've got a new striker in the likes of Mbutuma, we still don't have a clear out and out striker, and so we clearly definitely cannot afford to lose Mofokeng. Not now, not never. Definitely not for this season and the preseason. With our 3 goals scored, 2 being from Mofokeng and 1 being from Tito, that is a clear indication that he's still our number 1 goal threat. And one little thing I'd like to add in that is that with these clear tactics that I was talking about, Abdeslam, we see that he definitely wants a striker that is going to be mobile and can definitely assist when it comes to being an outball, number 1, and number 2, assist the other wingers as they try cut inside and be goal threats from out wide. So yeah, this point is basically we can't afford to lose Mufuking, but at the same time it also means that even though we have supposedly 4 strikers, Radiopane, Mahopa and Mabasa, we still are struggling in the striker department. And yeah, so please, President, you need to remain in the team. And yes, guys, I think those are the 5 things that we have learned. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get through all of them. I just wanted to highlight these 5. And I guess we'll carry on in the comments. Please tell me what you guys think is going to be an important factor for us that we have noticed in preseason for the season upcoming. I'd love to know your thoughts. And also, what are you most looking forward to seeing, especially after taking the positives and negatives that we have seen in the preseason? What do you think stood out for you? What stood out for you? Yep, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments section below. And to conclude the video, I think what I want to say is that going into this season, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to need to practice patience. We still haven't tried all the possible formations and permutations that are possible in the team. Not everybody got equal game time in the preseason. Like we've been saying, the coach himself has not coached a top flight Premier League team for a whole season, which means that we're gonna need to practice patience. At least we already know what he's trying to do, what he wants to do, and he just needs to get that through to the players. Well, we already know what he wants to do and what he's trying to do, and all he needs to do is polish and polish and polish. And we even have the likes of Sibilebele that we haven't seen play for us as yet. So guys, let's be patient. Expectations should be relative to our circumstances, but that's just what I think. You guys can tell me what you think. That was the 5 things we've learned.